Welcome to the training module for the Test Information Distribution Engine, TIDE. This training module provides many examples of TIDE's features. The TIDE User Guide on your state's portal offers additional information about features in your state's version of TIDE. Please note that the features and images in this presentation may vary from those in your state's version of TIDE. This presentation will address numerous topics in TIDE, including tasks that typically take place before testing, during test administration, and after testing is complete. At its core, TIDE is a registration system for users who will access CAI systems and students who will take CAI tests. All CAI systems users must be added to TIDE before they can access any CAI system. Students must be added to TIDE before they can test in the Test Delivery System, TDS. Classes must be added in TIDE so that reporting can display scores at the classroom, school, district, and state levels. During testing, TIDE users can print test tickets, manage invalidation requests, and monitor test progress. After testing, TIDE users can clean up data and track return shipments of paper testing materials. When you are first added to TIDE, you will receive an account activation email containing a temporary link to reset your password. The sender's address will appear as do-not-reply@cambiumassessment.com. The email contains the following two important links: an activation link and a second link to request a new activation email. The activation link is valid for only 15 minutes. After that time, the link will expire and you will need to click the second link to request a new activation email. When you click the activation link, the Reset Your Password page will appear. Create the password you will use to access TIDE. If the password you enter is not processing, please ensure that you have met all system password requirements. Your TIDE password must be at least 12 characters long, include one uppercase letter, one lowercase letter, one number, and one special character, and be different from your last 24 passwords. If you do not reset your password, you will not be able to access the system. If your password meets all requirements, click Reset Password. After activating your account, you will have access to the various systems located on your portal. To access TIDE, go to your portal and click the TIDE icon. On the Secure Login page, enter your email and password and click Login. When logging into the system using a new device or browser, or after clearing the cache on a previously used browser, you will see a Confirm Account page. If you see the screen, an email containing the code will have been automatically sent to your email address. You must enter the code on this page within 15 minutes of receiving the email. If you do not receive a code or do not enter the code within the 15-minute time limit, click Resend Code. After entering the authentication code, click Submit to access the system. You will be able to access TIDE once you have successfully entered and submitted the code. If you forget your password, you will need to reset it to access TIDE. You may need to reset your password in the following situations. You forgot your password. Your activation link expired. Your account is locked because you exceeded the account login attempt limit. Or it is a new school year. To reset your password, click the Reset Password link. You will be taken to the Reset Your Password page. Enter your email address and click Send Link to Email. You will receive an email with an activation link. Follow the same steps you performed when initially setting up your TIDE account. At the beginning of a new school year, and only once every year, your TIDE password and security details will automatically be reset. To reset your password for the new school year, go to your portal and click the TIDE icon. On the Secure Login page, click Reset Password. The Reset Your Password page will appear and you will follow the same steps previously mentioned in this module to reset your password. Your TIDE account is assigned a role, and that role has certain permissions. This table gives an example of the permissions associated with roles in your state. For example, a district-level user may be able to perform tasks that are not available to a school-level user. Permissions also limit the scope of data access. A district-level user can work with data pertaining to their district, and a school-level user can work with data pertaining to their school. For a detailed list of user roles and associated permissions specific to your state, see your TIDE User Guide. After logging into Tide, the first page you will see is Administration Details page. Select the necessary information from the drop-down lists in each of the fields: user role, test administration, state, and district. Click Submit to go to the Tide homepage for your user role. The Tide homepage appears after you click Submit on the Administration Details page. The homepage includes a header, navigation bar, dashboard, and footer. These elements are explained in more detail in the following sections. A header appears at the top of each Tide page. On the left, there is a Switch Systems menu button that provides a drop-down list for accessing other Cambium assessment applications. In the drop-down menu located on the right side, you can find the Account section where account details can be managed. Additionally, there is a Role section where you can view the current test administration and your current role. You will also find a General Resources drop-down list if available in your state, a Secure File Center button, and a Help button that displays the Tide User Guide. The district and school information is also displayed along with the user role and test administration if available in your state. To access secure documents and files you have previously exported in Tide and other Cambium assessment systems, click the Secure File Center button in the banner. Note that files are displayed in the order that they are generated, uploaded, or archived. The Secure File Center displays the name of the file, creation and expiration dates, days until expiration, and an actions column. To show system and custom labels, select the Show Labels toggle bar and mark checkboxes for the labels you wish to display. Select the Show Labels toggle bar again to hide the labels. For more information on the Secure File Center and its features, refer to the Tide User Guide. You can share a file or files from Tide to individual recipients by email address or to groups of recipients by user role. To share files, click the Secure File Center button from the Tide banner. Next, click the Share Files tab at the top of the window. To share files by role, select the role group to which you want to share a file or files. A drop-down list appears. Next, select the role or roles to which you want to share a file or files. You can choose Select All to send a file or files to all roles in the selected role group. From the location drop-down lists, select organizations that will receive the file or files you will share. To share files by email, enter the email address of the recipient to whom you wish to share a file or files. After selecting recipients, click Browse under the Add File field to select a file or files to share. A file browser appears. From the file browser, select up to 10 files to share. Click Share Files. To download resources that may be needed for online testing, such as forms and secure materials used for hand scoring, click the General Resources drop-down list in the banner. To read more detailed information about the page that you are currently viewing, click the Help button in the header to open the Tide User Guide. Tide accounts can be managed through the drop-down menu on the right side of the Tide banner. Here, you can change the role you are using in Tide if you have been assigned multiple roles, update your contact information, and log out of your account. A navigation bar, featuring frequently used tasks under each phase of testing, is accessible from most pages within Tide. Hover over a Task Group tab to display a drop-down menu of tasks. After you make your selection, the other tasks from the Task Group drop-down menu populate below the tabs so they can be accessed easily. If you select the tab directly, the menu closes. The horizontal task menu uses shortened task names for main tasks, such as Manage, Add, and Upload, while the full name appears in the task menu drop-down. The task is the same regardless of the label you select to access it. Another navigation option is to return to the dashboard to access tasks. Dashboard is the only tab you can select directly since it does not have a drop-down menu. Details pages are usually divided into multiple sections, with each section containing a group of related settings and options that you can edit. You can click the blue arrow next to a section to collapse or expand it. To quickly search for a user or student to view or edit, enter the user's email address or student's statewide student identifier, also known as an SSID, USID, or MSISID, in the appropriate search box. Then, click the magnifying glass to the right of the search box. The search box in the top right corner of the navigation bar can be utilized to search for students or users. If you are searching for a user to view or edit, the Manage User Detail page will appear. If you are searching for a student to view or edit, the Manage Student Detail page will appear. Here we see the default view of the TIDE dashboard, Card View. The TIDE dashboard is designed to reflect the stages of the testing process as directly and simply as possible. These three sections in TIDE list menus for the tasks available in that section. For example, the Users menu contains options for adding users, viewing, editing, or exporting users, and uploading users. To expand a task menu and view its set of related tasks, click the down arrow on the end of that menu. To perform a task, click the name of that task listed in the menu. There are two views of the dashboard, Card View and List View. The default view is set for you and displays automatically. If you want to use the other view, you'll need to change it each time you log in to TIDE. Card View is designed to provide easy access to commonly used tasks. Frequently accessed tasks are displayed for easy access, while other tasks need to be accessed by expanding the More Actions section. Main tasks have buttons at the top of each card, while other tasks or reports may be accessed from a drop-down or through a link. List View, an alternate view of the dashboard, presents all tasks linearly without visual grouping, making the dashboard more compact and text-based. This view does not give visual preference to commonly used tasks and simply lists all tasks in a task group. Users can easily switch between the dashboard views using the toggle in the right-hand corner. This dual-mode setup allows users to choose the dashboard view that best supports their workflow. Tasks in the Preparing for Testing section are typically performed before testing begins. Depending on your state program, this category includes tasks for managing records for users, students, test settings, and rosters. This category may also include tasks for placing orders for paper testing materials if your state orders materials through TIDE. TIDE can group students into rosters. A roster is a collection of students sharing a similar characteristic who are assigned to a specific teacher. Rosters typically represent classrooms, but they can also be used to group students with special needs or students participating in activities or programs. Once scores are calculated, users can visualize how a roster of students performed as a group. Tasks in the Administering Tests section are typically performed during the test window. Test administrators may use TIDE to invalidate a test, reset a test, or reopen a test. In this section, you may also monitor test progress, generate test participation reports, and print test tickets. In the After Testing section, you can perform data cleanup operations such as entering codes to explain student non-participation and resolving test discrepancies. In states that administer paper-pencil tests, users can use TIDE to track returning packages containing student answer documents. You will see a footer at the bottom of each TIDE page with a Contact Help Desk link. Click the link to view information about contacting your state's help desk. Records for users, students, and rosters must be added to TIDE and kept up to date for the testing process to flow properly. Users not added to TIDE will not have access to any CAI systems. Students who are not added will be unable to test, and rosters not added will not be available in reporting. The process for adding and modifying records is similar for users, students, and rosters. This next section of the module will walk you through how to add records one at a time, how to view or modify existing records one at a time, and how to upload multiple new records or modify existing records in the same file. To add records one at a time, start on the TIDE homepage. In the Preparing for Testing section, choose the task for which you want to add a new record, users, students, or rosters, then click Add. When adding users one at a time, enter the email address for the user you want to add and click Next. If the email exists, then options will be available to add multiple roles for the user. Please be sure to verify the email address entered, as this cannot be changed after the initial screen. If you need to make a change to the email address, contact your state's help desk. The new user's email address will serve as their username when they log in to any Cambium assessment system. The new users you add will receive an activation email from donot.reply@cambiumassessment.com. It is important to note that most pages in Tide have more info text that describes the page and how to use it. To show or hide more info text on the top of a page, click the blue More Info link under the page title. Additionally, you may see quick help text on the right side of the page that displays useful information for the current task. When using the Add option on the Preparing for Testing card, you will see two tabs: Student Information and Accommodations. The Student Information tab contains various sections such as race and ethnicity and designated supports. The fields marked with an asterisk are mandatory, and the student ID, birth date, and last name you enter must match a student who already exists in your state's enrollment system. On the Accommodations tab, test attributes such as embedded support students receive on their online tests can be entered. When adding students one at a time, begin by adding information to the Student Demographics section on the Student Information tab. Complete the required information in the remaining sections and click Save Changes in the bottom right corner of the page to add the student. In the pop-up window that appears, click Continue to return to the Add Student screen or dashboard to be directed to the Tide dashboard. On the Designated Supports Accommodations tab, you can turn on embedded supports for eligible students. If you need to make any changes, use the drop-down menus or select the On/Off buttons. The Add Roster page contains two panels, a Find and Select Students panel and a Roster Details panel. To search for students, complete the student search fields in the Find and Select Students panel. The fields marked with an asterisk are mandatory. You can further refine your search by selecting criteria under the Additional Fields section. Refine the list of available students by completing the fields in the Add Students to the Roster panel. Then, click Search. The students listed in the Search Results panel are available to be added to the roster. First, in the Roster Details panel, enter a name for the roster and select the teacher who should be associated with the roster. Next, add students to the new roster. To add a single student to the roster, click the plus sign next to a student in the left column. You can add all available students to the roster by clicking Add All. Students will display under selected students as they are added to the roster. To remove a single student from the roster, click the X next to a student in the right column. Remove all students from the roster by clicking Remove All. Click Save to save the roster. The Quick Roster tab can be used to create a complete roster from a group of students. To search for students, complete the fields in the Quick Roster panel. You can further refine your search by selecting criteria under the Additional Fields section. Click Create Quick Roster. All students who meet the criteria in your search are automatically added to the roster. You can manually remove students by clicking the X next to individual students or click Remove All from the top of the grid. Click Save to create your roster. If a record's information changes after you have added the record to Tide, you must edit the record to match the most up-to-date information. You can do this by managing existing records one at a time. Begin on the Tide homepage. In the Preparing for Testing section, choose the task for which you want to modify a record, users, students, or rosters, then click Manage. The Manage User page includes a form for setting selection criteria to retrieve users. In this example, the required criteria are the user's role, state, district, and school. Other criteria are optional, such as the first or last name. Your particular version of Tide may have other fields by which you can retrieve users. Click Search and select View Results to continue. Your search results will appear below the section. After you select View Results, Tide will display all the users satisfying the search criteria. If your user role permits, you can edit a user's information by clicking Edit Student in the Row Actions menu. Another page will appear for you to edit and save information. To export user information, mark the checkboxes next to the users you wish to export and select the Export button above the search results. A drop-down list will appear with the option to export in either Microsoft Excel or CSV format. To delete users from Tide, mark the checkboxes next to the users you wish to delete and select the Delete button above the search results. To search for additional users, scroll up to update your search criteria. For more detailed information on managing users, refer to your state's Tide User Guide. The Manage Students page includes a form for setting selection criteria to retrieve students. Required criteria, such as the district and school in this example, are marked with asterisks. In the school drop-down list, users can begin typing in the search field to filter results. You can enter part of or your complete school name or school ID in the search field. Other criteria are optional, such as the SSID and the student's first or last name. Your state's Tide may have other fields by which you can retrieve students. If available, you can further refine your criteria by entering additional demographic information or test settings in the advanced search section. The students you can retrieve on this page are limited by your role scope. For example, if you are a district-level user, you can retrieve only students enrolled within your district. If you are a school-level user, you can retrieve only students enrolled within your school. Click Search to continue. After you click Search, you will see a message asking whether you would like to view the results of your search, modify your search criteria and try again, or export the list of students to your secure file center. If you choose to export the results to your secure file center, you will receive an email when the file is ready for you to download. When you click View Results, Tide will display all the students satisfying the search criteria. For column and visual customization options, click the Customize drop-down menu in the upper right corner of the results. You can customize which information should be displayed, such as student information, as well as customizing text sizes and the row background. Click Apply Changes to customize your view. You can edit a student's information, including test settings and accommodations and student test participation data, by clicking the three dots to open the Row Actions menu. Make the necessary selection to navigate to the applicable tab on the student page to view, manage, and edit the information. You can also view a student's test participation report and rosters to which students are active, if available. Print students or delete them from Tide by selecting the desired students and clicking the Print or Delete button above the search results. To export the results, mark the checkboxes next to the results you wish to export and click the Export button above the search results. A pop-up window will appear with the option to export to the Secure File Center in either Microsoft Excel or CSV format. To make edits to your search criteria or perform an additional search, scroll up to the search fields at the top of the page. State and district-level users can also move selected students from one school to another by clicking Move to another school. For more detailed information on managing students, refer to your Tide User Guide. There are two ways to display the search results on this page: Focus View and Grid View. The Grid View option is the default view that displays a list of students with the school information only. Select the Grid option to display the search results with multiple categories, such as additional student information and more. Select the Focus View button located to the left of the Grid View button to change the results display. To view additional details for a specific student, click on the arrow next to the student you would like to view to expand the information. Here you see the same student information from Grid View in tabular format. You can use the tabs at the top of the table to cycle through each section. It is important to note that editing student information will need to be completed using the Actions menu for both Grid and Focus views. The Manage Rosters page includes a form for setting selection criteria to retrieve rosters. In this example, the district, school, and roster type criteria are required. Your version of Tide may have other fields by which you can retrieve rosters. Click Search to display a list of rosters matching your criteria. Print, export, or delete rosters from Tide by selecting the desired rosters and selecting the Print, Export, or Delete buttons above the search results. Click the pencil icon next to a roster to view or edit its details. You may also view rosters to which the student is currently active if available. The Edit Roster form will appear. This form is similar to the form used to add rosters, and you may edit the roster name, teacher name, and students to display in the roster, in the same way that you would for a new roster. You also have the option to add and manage multiple records at once. To upload records, you must be familiar with spreadsheet applications or comma-separated value files. When you upload files to Tide, Records not previously set up will be added, and records already set up in Tide will be modified with the updated content from the upload. Begin on the Tide homepage. In the Preparing for Testing section, choose the task for which you want to add or manage records, users, students, or rosters. To explain the four-step upload process, we will use the Upload Users function. The steps apply in the same way to upload students and upload rosters tasks. On the Upload screen, click Download Template to download a CSV or Microsoft Excel file template. Once you have downloaded and filled out the template, return to the Upload screen, click Choose File, or use the drag and drop feature to upload your file to Tide. Then, click Next. When you click Next, the preview upload screen will appear. Verify that the information is correct, then click Next. To cancel the upload, click Cancel. Tide will validate the file and display any errors or warnings according to the legend on the page. Click the error icons and warning icons in the validation results to view the reason that a field is invalid. If a record contains an error, that record will not be included in the upload. If a record contains a warning, that record will be uploaded, but the field with the warning will be invalid. To upload a different file, click Upload Revised File. To complete the upload, click Continue with Upload. To view a PDF listing the validation results for the upload file, click Download Validation Report. If your file contains a large number of records, Tide will process the file offline and send you a confirmation email when complete. While Tide is validating the file, do not click Cancel, as Tide may have already started processing some of the records. When the upload is complete, a confirmation page will appear with a message that summarizes how many records were uploaded and how many were excluded. Click Upload New File to upload additional files. The validation report and any rejected records can be downloaded by selecting the appropriate button at the bottom of the confirmation screen. Your test menu options vary by state. Tide also manages student information and keeps track of which assessment students are eligible to take. The Student Information task menu allows you to search for students, add students, manage students, upload students from an external file, generate frequency distribution reports, and view student history. The Student Information task menu includes functionality for states that use temporary IDs. For detailed instructions on creating, using, and merging temporary IDs into permanent IDs, please refer to the Adding Temporary IDs training posted on your state portal. We have shown you how to perform most of the tasks in the Students task menu. As you plan for testing, it is helpful to use the Frequency Distribution Report and Student History to double-check student information and test settings. A Frequency Distribution Report retrieves demographic and enrollment information based on the selected criteria. To generate a report from the Frequency Distribution Report page, select a district and school from the drop-down lists, if available. Mark checkboxes in the Select Demographics section to filter the report for additional demographics and accommodations as desired. Click Search to display a frequency distribution report using the selected criteria. Tide will display the frequency distribution report in grid format. This example shows a report by gender and grade. To display the report in tabular format, click Grid. To display the report in graphical format, click Graph. To display the report in both tabular and graphical format, click Grid and Graph. To download the report as a PDF, click the print icon and then save the file to your computer. To export the report in Microsoft Excel format, click the Export button located next to the Print button and choose Export to Excel from the drop-down menu. To access a student's history, users can view the Student History report by clicking the View History tab located on the Student Detail page. The Student History displays all changes made to a student's record, including active and inactive statuses, along with the username or process that made the change. Authorized Tide users can use the tabs to filter through the history of recent changes, student information and test settings, enrollment and rosters, and test eligibilities for the selected student. The history is limited to displaying changes from January 1st of the previous calendar year to the present. The Test Settings and Tools task menu allows you to manage or upload test settings and tools. Tide will keep a record of student test settings. The Manage Test Settings and Tools page includes a form for setting selection criteria to retrieve a student's test settings and tools. Required criteria, such as the district and school in this example, are marked with asterisks. Other criteria are optional, such as the student ID and the student's first or last name. Your state's TIDE may have other fields by which you can retrieve students' test criteria. You can further refine your criteria by entering additional demographic information or test settings in the Advanced Search section. The students you can retrieve on this page are limited by your role scope. For example, if you are a district-level user, you can retrieve settings for those students enrolled within your district. If you are a school-level user, you can retrieve settings for those students enrolled within your school. Click Search to continue. You will see a message asking whether you would like to view the results of your search, export the list of students to your secure file center, or modify your search criteria and try again. If you choose to export the results to your secure file center, you will receive an email when the file is ready for you to download. When you click Search, TIDE will display all the students who satisfy the search criteria. You can edit a student's test settings and accommodations by clicking the three dots to open the Row Actions menu. To make the search form reappear and search for additional students, scroll up to the Search Students section. For more detailed information on managing student test settings and tools, refer to your TIDE user guide. Print or export student information or delete students from TIDE by selecting the desired students and clicking the Print, Export, or Delete buttons above the search results. To export the results, mark the checkboxes next to the results you wish to export and click the Export button above the search results. A pop-up window will appear with the option to export to the Secure File Center in either Microsoft Excel or CSV format. State and district-level users can also move selected students from one school to another by clicking Transfer School. A second way to edit test settings and tools in TIDE is to use the Upload Test Settings and Tools page to create a file in Microsoft Excel or CSV format and then upload that file. This task is performed by following the same steps you would use to upload new users and students. You can find the TIDE user guide and other helpful resources on your state assessment portal. However, if you still require assistance with troubleshooting a technical issue, you may also contact your help desk. When contacting your help desk, please be ready to provide the following information: any error messages that are appearing, including codes, your operating system and browser information, your network configuration information, your contact information for follow-up by telephone or email, any other relevant information, such as test names or content areas, student IDs, session IDs, and search criteria. For questions about test administration or policy issues, please contact your district test coordinator. Thank you for taking the time to view this training module. For additional information, refer to your TIDE user guide located on your portal or contact the help desk.